everyone, and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys. And today I'm going to be showing you how to cut this is like a latest sleeve design. That's what I'm going to call it because it's actually new. Really, yeah, you could see the picture up here. It's actually new. So that is just like a trendy sleeve, just a beautiful sleeve. So that's just what I'm basically going to be teaching you how to cut today. It's really simple. When you see it at first, you look a little bit, it looks a little bit confusing, but by watching this video you should be able to make this sleeve. Like I normally say, get rid of old boring sleeves and then do other beautiful sleeves for your project. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like my video, hit on the notification bell just beside to get an update whenever I upload a new video. That is if you are new. And then my old subscribers, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support towards my channel. If you have any question regarding this video or any other sewing problem, you could drop a comment down on the comment section. I'll be very fast to give you a helping hand. So but before we go, you could see the sleeve from the picture. It's like a basic and long sleeve. So that's just basically the sleeve. So it's like a long sleeve. First of all, the first thing you do, you cut out a long sleeve, a basic long sleeve out first. So with the help of my sleeve pattern, I'm just going to trace out a long sleeve from this midi sleeve. So I'm just going to be placing it here like this, and then take my measurement, and then I'll measure it out. So that's just about that. If you notice, my sleeve is actually opened on this side, so you could after cutting you could decide to open it up, or yeah, you could decide to open it up because it actually has an opening, so which I'm going to be working on. So this is like my basic sleeve now. So this is like my basic sleeve. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be showing you how to attach those the ruffles or petals, whatever you call it. I'll show you how to attach it to it. So for this, the first thing, you could decide however you want it. That's the size of the petals. You could decide however what size you want to actually use for it. So for this, I'm just going to be measuring. So I need straight out edges here first. So the first one I'm going to be using like this is like 13 inches, 13.5 inches. So I'm going to be making it of 13 inches. That's 13.5 inches plus the stitching allowance. So it's actually cut square, so you cut it square. So the next thing I'm going to do now, the whole edges will be 13.5. So I'm just going to cut out my square out neatly. So it is a perfect square. That's all the four edges are equal. So the first one that I cut is 14 inches, sorry, 13.5 inches. So I'm going to be cutting out another one. The second one that I'm going to be cutting out, I'm going to make it, and this one is 13 inches. I'm going to make the second one 11 inches or 10 inches. So it just depends on how I want. So I'm going to cut out 4. I'll be reducing them by 2 inches. So I'll cut out, this is 13 inches. The other one is going to be 11, the other one 9, and then the other one 7 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead now and do that. So I've cut out other pieces of it. So I'm just going to show you. You could see this one is ripped out. So I'm just going to show you what I did. So all of them, all the pieces, you're going to be dividing them into 2. So I'll just fold it like this, however I want to fold it, and then I'll just separate it from the center. So I'm just going to do that right now, making sure everything is straightened out. So you can see what I have. So I'm just going to lay out the pieces for you in order for you to understand what I did. So you can see I just separated them like this. I separated them from the center, and then this is the last one. So I have 4 pieces now. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to just set them aside. For this, if you want to double it, you could decide to use different fabric like this Ankara. Now you could decide to sew and turn. You could decide to use Ankara for the inside, like the one on the picture. That was how it was done. They used Ankara to turn it like an interfacing, so it had two face. So that's one part is Ankara. Or if you don't want to use the Ankara and you want to use on the same fabric, you could decide to do the same fabric. And if you don't want to line it, you want to lock the edges, you could still decide to do that. So choose whatever you do, but use a soft interfacing if you're going to put interfacing, because the sleeve is not meant to be stiff, it's soft. So you could decide to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead for this. So you decide where you actually want your slit to be, how long you actually want it to be. That's if you want it from your shoulder line, if you want it on the elbow, or if you want it a little bit more. So you just decide. So I'm just going to fold now. The length of my long sleeve is actually 22 inches. So 22 inches, I'm just going to use my own sleeve like this to measure. So I'm coming to like between 10 inches. So I'm just going to be working with 10 between 10 and 11 inch. So this is like my 10, this is like 11 inch. I think I should just stick with 11 inches. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, when cutting this sleeve, make sure you add allowance to it, because this middle part, we are going to be removing 1 inch from it. So it depends on how actually wide you want your sleeve to be, and that's the opening, how wide you want it to be. So you determine that by yourself. So for the sake of this illustration, I'm going to be making use of 1 inch. So I'm just going to be making use of like 1 inch. So I'm just going to make a mark like this of 1 inch, and I'm bringing it to this point like this. You can see what I'm doing. I'm slanting it to this point. So look, see what I'm doing. I just slanted it like this, 1 inch. So I'm going to be chopping it out. I'm going to be cutting it out, rather chopping, cutting. So, and make sure you include all your allowance to the edges of your sleeve. So I'm just going to cut it out like this. So I've cut out the sleeve. I've cut it out by 1 inch now, so you could see what I have now. So I'm just going to take it back to my machine and then stitch. So I have my opening here. So I'm just going to go and stitch it back together and then come back and show you before I continue again. So guys, you could see I finished stitching back the middle part, the center part of the sleeve. I finished stitching it back. So when you're done, you have it looking like this. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to set this on the side and then work on the ruffles or petals, whatever, on our squares. So the next thing I'm going to do now, this is the biggest one. That was the first one that I cut out. That was 13 inches. So I'm going to take the second one and then I'll place it like this at the center, making sure that the edges, I have that's my 2 inches part on it. So this is it. I'm placing this one and then I'll take the other one. Also, okay, no, this is the other one. This is the second one. So this is the second one, and then this is the third one. So you can see what I have. Like I said you could actually sew them and turn them out, so that you could double your sleeve. That's the squares. You could decide to double it. So, and then this is the last one, that's the baby one. So you could see how it is. I hope you could see it clearly. So this is the first layer, the second one, the third one, and then the fourth one. So I'm just going to use this to indicate them for you in order for you to see them clearly. This is the second one, this is the third one, and then this is the bigger one. So these are the four. So the next thing I'm going to do now, you could see what I have here. I'm taking it back to my machine, and then I'm going to be running a stitch from this point. I'll leave out from this small one, because this is where I'm going to be stitching. The other ones I'm not going to be stitching them. From this point, you could see what I have. From this point, I'm just going to leave like 1 inch. Let me make just, yeah, like 1 inch. I'm just going to leave 1 inch on this side of the small one. That's the smallest sleeve and the smallest square, and then 1 inch. So I'm just going to be stitching them together. That's, I'm stitching the four of them together. I'll just run a line like this on my machine, on this line like this, and then stitch them together, and then come back and show you. So I'm just going to do that now. So guys, so you could see I finished stitching the four together like I said. So I left all the edges. I left this edge, so I just stitched it to this point and did the same thing to the four, to everything. I stitched the four together. So that's just that. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be showing you how to attach it to your basic sleeve. So in doing that, I'm just going to turn it like this, and then I'll bring it. So basically what I'm going to be doing at the end of the day is going to be looking like this. So it's going to be looking like this. This long part, that's this long part from this side, is going to be inside. So you could decide to just cut it out. That's this two will be inside, then the other ones could be outside, because that's what you use to actually secure it together. So, and then this one will be looking like this. It's just going to be standing like this. But before then, I'm going to be bringing it like this to the inside. So you could see the right side of this one will be facing the wrong side of this. So I'm just going to take it from the second one, and then I'm placing like this, so on top of from the second one. So this side, literally, I'm going to be trimming off this long part. I'll trim it out, so you could see. So this is the right side of my square. So I'm just putting it like this. So I'm just going to take it to my machine, and then I'll run a stitch from on it like this. So I'll just run a stitch basically from this up point. I'll run a stitch to this point. To this point, I'll run a stitch. That's where my slit is. I'll run a stitch to it, and then I'll stop, and then I'll turn it to the other side. So that's just basically what I'm going to do. I'll do this for this side, and then do this also. The wrong side, the right side now is facing this point. So I'll do it so that I'll be able to turn it and it will face the other side. I'm just going to do that now. So welcome back, guys. So you could see what I did. So you could see I finished stitching it like I told you. I stitched it from the inside just like I showed you earlier on, and then from this side I now opened it up and then ran another stitch here just to secure it properly, just to secure it. So that just did a back stitch on it just to secure it. So, and then the next thing you find, the sleeve is looking like this. So I'm just going to make sure that all of my edges, they are equal, and then from this part, that's the opened part, I'm just going to take it like this, and then you could decide to just secure it like this. But these edges, all of them are just the same. You could decide these ones, they are meant to just dangle like this. So I'm just going to secure it like this with just a top stitch. That's what I'm just basically going to do. And then when I'm done, I'll secure that part, and then this part, that's the part where you attach it. All I need to do, I'm just going to bring them together, just the edges, like I'm just going to put it together like this. You could see what I have. I'm just going to put it together like this to attach. You could do it two ways. You could decide to put it together like this and attach, or you could decide to attach it separately like this. Just that's you from the beginning of your shoulder from one point and then the other point. So just run a stitch along and then measure to your sleeve length. So at the end of the day, you could see your sleeve is looking like this. So I'm just going to do that and just like finish it up, and then come back and show you the final look. Welcome back, guys. So you could see I finished making the sleeve. So you could see we have exactly what I have. What I have here, it actually came out very fine. So you could see it came out fine. So I'm just going to try it now on my sleeve for you to see. So you could see what I have here. You could see what I have. So like I said, if you actually want it to be wider, so you could decide to increase this part. You remember I used the opening, I used 1 inch, so you could decide to use 2 inch or whatever. So guys, and then this point you could use just a hand stitch just to stitch them down. That's if you want them staying down, you could stitch them down. And then like I told you initially, you could your sleeve, you could decide to turn them in out. So because it has not been attached, that's why this point is looking like this. So when you attach it now, it will look relaxed and good. So you could see, you could make your sleeve a little bit longer, you could even make it shorter. You could make something that the sleeve might be inside here, that's the basic sleeve might be inside, and this will just cover it up. It's just a style. So you just give yourself a push. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, do not hesitate to like this video, share it, and then subscribe if you have not. So thank you so much for watching.